Welcome, friends, to the Rare Mob Killdex for STONEFIELD, your most accurate and most complete Rare Mob guide for Rift. You're not going to find a more complete or more accurate guide out there. And it took a lot of praying to get this zone down. Doing these Killdexes, it represents about 4 weeks worth of work. So just keep that in mind. Getting your achievement isn't going to take you 4 weeks, but doing something like a Killdex, yeah, it's going to take you about 4 weeks to get every single one. First up, we have the Sentient Cruor, and this guy is kind of a backup for this Balin guy here. And you must kill off these guys because they have placeholders, you know, and so you have to keep killing off the Cruors, and this guy will eventually spawn. So you're going to need a lot of patience. I did get lucky on this route here. This was one of the only mobs that was there when I first showed up. So, yeah, I got lucky on this one. But I know that it doesn't spawn very regularly, and that you're going to have to probably do a lot of waiting and a lot of killing of that placeholder and to make sure that you get this guy. So, yeah, patience. Killing rare mobs requires lots of patience. And the Sentient Cruor, he was an easy kill for a 50, of course. And if you are of level, you know, you're not going to have any problem. It's going to be easy. Now we have Lothuu the Sad. Oh, this guy. He's really bummed out and just wandering around. And I believe he is tied in with the other rare mob here, Xoxtillus, which will be up next. Lothuu, he spawns quite regularly. You're going to see this guy, no problem. Probably your first run through STONEFIELD. He's one of the regular rares. He's always up, it seems like. And he drops a pretty cool little blade there. Not too bad, not too bad. And one really cool thing about these rares is they do usually reveal like some sort of underlying story. And some of them have to deal with the artifacts, and if you'll read some of the artifact notes, and you'll see that they are tied into some of these rares, and that's kind of cool. You know, it's kind of neat how they add like this little extra layer of flavor. You know, I really approve of that, and I think they should add more rares to the game. They have quite a few rares, but you can never have too many rares. And now you'll get to see why poor Lothuu is so sad. Xoxtillus, who is just mere feet from Lothuu. Yeah, if you were dating a girl named Xoxtillus, I'm sure you'd be pretty sad yourself. I'm sure there's that one guy. I'll have you know, sir, my mother's name was Xoxtillus. Well, I apologize to you out there. Little Xoxtillus, yeah. She's really close to Lothuu, and they seem to have a love story. Seems to be some sort of underlying love story. I'd like to find out more about that, but yeah, it's pretty cool, You know, these are the things that interest me in games like this, you know, the lore and the neat little extras like this. But yeah, Xoxtillus, she's an easy kill as well, and all these are easy for a 50. Walk in the park. And like I've mentioned in my other videos, if you see me acting kind of strange, like the way I'm doing my battle, like detargeting the creature and everything, that's because I just don't want to kill him in one swing. Next we have Stone Rend, and this guy, he always spawns here. Alakazam is totally wrong with their spawning, and they have this little area down where Xoxtillus is at, and they have that marked for rare mobs, and there's no rare mobs that spawn there. I don't know how such an inaccuracy, you know, I guess it's just because the game is new, but Stone Rend is always at this location. I've seen the guy 10 times. I thought about doing a montage of all the kills because I would kill him repeatedly, but anyway, he's always here. Don't waste your time using the Alakazam coordinates, because you're going to be there all day. And a lot of the inaccuracies out there made this much tougher than it should be. That's why I made this Killdex, because it's 100% accurate. You get to see video footage. There's no word of mouth. It's right there before your eyes. And some of the problems I had was like misspelling of the names, like such as Stridal. They had misspelled it, with AL or EL instead of AL. Next we have the XT300, which was just added in patch 1.2. And this guy was also tough. I used my targeting macro to find these without coordinates, and that dang targeting macro is a godsend. It is the most awesome thing. It will make your rare mob hunting so much easier. I don't know how you could do it without it. And XT, he's right by the Harrow here. He's real easy to find. They put him on a high spawn rate, I guess because he's been missing for so long. But you're going to find him no problem at all. He spawns and spawns and spawns and spawns and spawns. He's always there, just like Xoxtillus and Lothuu. And there are some ultra rares, which we'll get to later. And I'm also giving XT300 a little extra time since he's new and was just added. And there's a lot of inaccurate information out there. And now you can see exactly where he's at. And you can see he's surrounded by rifts and invasions and all types of things. And that's one gigantic problem with these rares. Almost every single one is right on top of a foothold, right on top of a rift, right on top of an invasion. So you got that to contend with, I mean, not only do you have players to contend with, you have the invasions and everything else to contend with. And now I'm going to show you XT one more time, just because he is new. And this is a little bit of a clearer shot, and you can see the Harrow is right there. And what he does patrol a little bit. He just kind of just walks in a big old circle right here in front of the Harrow. And I just want to make sure that you can see exactly where he is at and won't have any trouble finding him, which you're not going to have with that macro anyway. And XT always drops his shell casing, which is a pretty neat little shield. So if you're of level and looking for a cool shield, might be one to check out. Next, we have another inaccurate, that's been on Alakazam completely wrong. It's Gormungun, And these are his correct coordinates. And he always spawns here. And he's right next to the Stone Rend as well. You can actually sit on this lake here, and you'll get about 3 of them. There's 3 that spawn right here, And if you have your targeting macro, you're going to pick them up. No problem. There's a ton of rares for Stonefield. You do not need every single one to get the achievement. You're going to get your achievement before you find every single one. But there are a ton of them. But some of them are just constantly spawning, and others are like these ultra rares, which just show up every once in a while. And you probably will have to kill at least one of these ultra rares to get your achievement. And, you're just going to have to be really patient when you're doing Stonefield, because there are just a ton of rares. But at least you're kind of rewarded constantly, because you are constantly running into these rares. Unfortunately, most of these rares are the same ones. Like, I killed this Gormungun guy 10 times at least. I killed that Stone Rend guy 10 times. Xoxtillus 10 times, all those guys that are constantly spawning, and then I waited weeks and weeks for others. I wish they would adjust it a little bit better. I mean, having to wait for weeks on one single mob and people never see it, it's kind of like, what's the point? Now I just want to highlight some of the problems with these footholds and invasions. You see Berserk here, and you see how many times I come across this guy, and he's being annihilated by a foothold, annihilated by an invasion, whatever. It's just kind of idiotic and needs to be adjusted. You shouldn't have these rares sitting right on top of these footholds. At least when a Guardian foothold or a Defiant foothold spawns, they don't attack the rares, and they should make this the same way for all of these, It is so disheartening to come up across this rare and to have it being slayed by a damn foothold, and there's nothing you can do about it. The guy just gets instantaneously killed, you know. And you can see even here the Guardians started trying to attack and help me out, you know. Yeah, something needs to be done. But this is Berserk, and he has kind of a mid-level spawn. He's not always there, but he spawns fairly regularly, like once a day. One of the hugest problems is he's right on top of a foothold and right next to a rift. And if you are on a low popular server, yeah, you're going to have to clear that foothold out over and over and over to make sure it doesn't wipe out Berserk. Yeah. And he does drop a blue ring every time. So if you are of level, you might be able to use that ring. Yeah. Not too bad of a ring. No, he doesn't drop the ring every single time. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, he drops a blue ring, which is quite nice, and he drops it quite often. He doesn't drop it every single time. And you see where I'm at with Berserk. There's also an undocumented rare there named Ashandara, which I'm going to add to the macro. And I didn't see her. You know, I was hoping to add her, but I just couldn't wait any longer to get this video out. Next we have Gorehorn the Mighty. Yeah, he's just a little piggy. He's not too mighty. He's right when you're walking in to Stonefield from Free March, coming in from the noob area. So yeah, he's real easy to find. He's a constant spawner. He spawns and spawns as well. Gorehorn, Xoxtillus, Lothuu, Renfang, all these guys are really close to each other. You see, like right where I'm at on my map here. All three of those rares I just mentioned, you know, they're really close to this area. And if you have your targeting macro going, you can just go around this far mine loop, and you're going to get at least probably 3 of them. You know, just keep in mind that they are rares, and they aren't always going to be around. But Gorehorn, he's a regular. Xoxtillus, regular. Lothuu, regular. You know, Stone Rend, regular. Gormungun, pretty regular as well. You know, a lot of these guys are showing up, you know, often. Except for Questing Overseer. He is one of the brand spanking new mobs that were just added. The 3 that were added were XT 300, the Questing Overseer, and Gnarvul. Those were the 3 that were missing for, you know, since the game's release, and they were just added last week, you know. So here you're getting to see them for probably the first time. And here are the accurate coordinates. And I only saw the Questing Overseer twice. And once was on the live server, and here you're seeing where I saw him on the alpha server. So he has kind of a low spawn, you know. So you might not want to just sit here and camp this guy. You might just want to cruise by while you're doing your rare mob hunt. And as you see, he does have several ads with him, and he does spawn right next to a troll. So if you are of level, you know, you might want to bring a friend or two if you're, or you know, figure out some sort of strategy and just pull one at a time. You know, clear out the area, whatever you got to do. If you're 50, it's not going to be any issue, any issue whatsoever. 2 swings and you are done. And I'm also giving Questing Overseer a little bit more time since he is one of the new guys on the block. Yeah, I give you plenty of time to look around and make some landmarks. He's fairly close to Titan's Rest and fairly close to the other rare Neela, who is an ultra rare as well. I would say the Questing Overseer is probably an ultra rare, considering how much time I spent in Stonefield and how many times I saw him. And I'm surprised they didn't up his spawn rate since he is one of the new guys. But yeah, there you can see where he is. Quarry Stone Basin. Right there, right in the middle. He's real easy to find, and if you have your targeting macro, which I've mentioned repeatedly, you're gonna target him before you even see the guy. You know, which I love that little targeting macro. I don't know what I would have done without that macro making these videos. I doubt I would have even made them. It would have been way too hard. Next we have Stridal, not Stridal. Yeah, you'll see that, you know, some of the first coordinates and names and things that were posted on boards, and you know, I'm sure that you're using those to hunt your rares because they're basically some of the only coordinates around. And it had Stridal spelled wrong, which of course screwed my macro, and I probably passed by this guy 100 times. He spawns all the time. Stridal, he's always there. You're probably going to see it your first run. And anyway, they had it spelled wrong with an EL instead of an AL. I have it corrected in the macro, and I have it corrected right there on your screen as well. So, yeah, whoever put out that very first list of coordinates, he misspelled like about 10 different mobs. Like, was it the Exile? He spelled it E-X-H-I-L-E. I don't know. I guess he was just rushed or whatever, but those coordinates and names, you know, they're pretty much trash. They're pretty much way inaccurate, and they don't have any of the new stuff at all. So, yeah, you're looking at the most accurate and most complete right now. And you can see that Stridal is also right in front of the Harrow. So you have XT300, Stridal, and Narvel, which is one of the brand new guys. I was expecting a nerd with a pocket protector with a name like Gnarvul. Thought it was a big nerd, but nope, it's a big spider. Yeah, it's kind of a unique model. I believe I've seen this in the Scarlet Gorge before, but whatever. Narvel, he's new. He's so new that he doesn't even have any loot. I've killed Narvel over and over. He does spawn all the time, so you're not going to have any problem finding Narvel. He might be the new kid on the block, but he's got a high spawn rate, just like XT, you know, which I'm surprised he didn't add for the questing overseer as well, but you can't have everything. There is where you will find Narvel. You see him right on the map there, and he's pretty close to the Harrow and all those other landmarks there. Anyway, Narvel does not have any loot, so you might keep that in mind. He's just a kill for your achievement, mainly. And I'm also giving him a little extra time, so you can look around, and you can see Titan's Rest is just right there. He's within sight of that, so yeah, I got a lot of good visual landmarks here. And as you can see, I was on the alpha server, and this place was just getting rocked with rifts. Next, we have Boneseeker, who is also, I'd categorize as an ultra rare. It took a long time to find this guy. I've seen him twice ever, and this is one of the times. And he's right here by the Granite Falls and the mining excavation right here. Yeah, he's out looking for some bones. I mean, how many jokes can you make with that name, huh? We just need Daniel Tosh here. Boneseeker. And you've seen this model before. He has the same model as Scarbite and Gloomwood, and you've seen it around, you know, Scarlet Gorge, all those other places. And this guy is a challenge to find, so you might check for him last. He is not one you're going to want to sit around and camp, because he's just not going to show up. And, you know, I say that because that's been my experience. You know, a majority of this is all random dumb luck, which is a running theme with Rift. You know, some people call it the Vegas strategy. It's the lottery. And you are at the mercy of the random numbers when it comes to these rares, and some of them are very, very rare and just a huge pain to find. But you'll get them. You just, you know, have your targeting macro going and a lot of patience. Gonna need a lot of patience. And now we have Renfang, and isn't that just an awesome sight with him like on the hill there? Yeah, he is always at this hill. Don't be fooled by the coordinates and the inaccuracies and, you know, misguided guided strategies, whatever, man. He is always up on top of that hill where he spawns. I've watched him spawn. And then what he'll do is he'll patrol. Yeah, and you'll see that I followed him a little bit and had a damn little add-on tag along as well. Yeah, nothing's ever perfect. And he patrols a little while, you know, down to the left and then a little bit back down to the right. Then he'll go back up on the hill. If you're looking for him, you know, just start at the hill and then just go towards the tent, you know. You're going to be very familiar with Stonefield by the end of hunting your rares. You know, you're going to tread a lot of grass in this place. I know I've burned a trail going back and forth here. At least it is shaped like a football, so it's not too hard to get around. You know, there's some zones like Iron Pine Peaks and stuff. Wow, it's just a huge, gigantic pain to get around. But not Stonefield. At least Stonefield is easy to get around. You might not always find your mob, but it's at least easy to get around. Renfang, I would categorize this guy as a medium spawn. He's not always there. But he will spawn about once a day. That's about what you can count on for him. That's about how often I would see him. And now, the reason this video took so long. Nela Val Cuthrin. Yeah, this chick took forever to show up. You know, I was almost going to put this video out without her, but I knew that if I hung in there and stayed patient, she would eventually show up. I literally stayed logged in for days and days, you know, with my macro going, and voila, she finally showed up this morning, and I was so damn happy about that. So I could make this 100% complete and get this video out. Yeah, there's always this one mob in every zone that will be so ultra rare, and this is Neela. She is so ultra rare. Do not waste your time sitting and waiting for her. Drive by here on your mount and see if she's up. You know, she is just ridiculous spawn, and a lot of it's luck, but she's not a regular. She won't show up very often. And this has been your very long Killdex for Stonefield. I am your host, Dark Hostess. The name of the channel is The Gamer Down. And if you would subscribe or thumbs up videos, I would really appreciate it. It really helps me out, and it motivates me to do more videos, of course. And thank you very much for being with me.